Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Georgia, can we have a little chat? Because you've confused me in the past. You elected this man after he, as Secretary of State of Georgia, ditched people's votes for no other reason than, well, let's be honest, he didn't want to lose the governorship to a black woman. Over 100,000 votes were not counted. Those people's votes, in a country where everybody vote count, they were voided. And the guy that won the governorship was in charge of the voting.
I'm Brian Kemp. This is Jake.
Yes, sir.
Jake asked why I was running for governor. I said, 1,
suppress votes.
and
No black woman running for office in Georgia.
Sir.
we're going to get along just fine.
Brian Kemp for governor.
Cool, that sounds totally real. Now, let's talk about this void. Herschel, then why are there still apes? Walker.
Science said man came from apes. If that is true, why are there still apes?
A man with such little understanding of everything, he thought we were sending our good air to China and getting their bad air. He said this out loud to people.
Our good air decided to float over to China, bad air. So when China gets our good air, their bad air gotta move. So it moves over to our good air space.
You know, there is not a what the fuck loud enough to respond to his statement. And this is just one in a series of, frankly, the stupidest things I've heard a politician say since this guy mused about the country injecting bleach to stop a virus.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, very powerful light disinfectant, and is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
Here's another one of Herschel Genius's CTE-infused brain flatulence.
They continue to try to fool you like they're helping you out, but they're not. They're not helping you out because a lot of the money is going into trees. You know that, don't you? It's going into trees. We got enough trees. Don't we have enough trees around here?
I get it. And here's the weird part. The man, Herschel, how many kids do I have? I forgot Walker, is running close in the polls to a brilliant orator, a man with a master's degree and a doctorate who just happens to be a senior pastor at a church since 2015. Have you heard the Reverend Warnock speak? Jesus shows up and brings MLK as his +1.
These politicians in the state legislature have already laid the tracks to take over local boards of elections.
Warnock is all the right wing says it stands for. A man with integrity, a man who pulled himself up by his bootstraps and made something of himself. A true American and a bona fide Christian. Not one of these nationalistic Christians or Nazis, as they like to be called. He's a good man, a righteous man, yet somehow this mumble-mouth moron who is reported to have paid for multiple abortions while he claims he's against abortion, who has said out loud that he's mentally ill, who has said he's not a smart man, whose ex-wife said
he held a gun to my temple and said he was going to blow my brains out.
And he responded to this horror show of accusations by saying, the past is the past. I think that was also Jeffrey Dahmer's defense. Yesterday, ex-NRA shill and horror of super beats, Dana Loesch, said on her podcast,
I don't care if Herschel Walker paid to abort endangered baby eagles. I want control of the Senate.
I am a Senate.
Is this where you are, Republicans? That this nightmare of a damaged, literally brain damaged human is who you want to be leader in Georgia? Do you not have any love for your state or your country? And you complain all the time, we're too divided. You Democrats are dividing us. And then you vote for this? Is it because you want the Senate in Republican hands again?
Herschel was brought in to be somebody to build off of when there was nothing else to build with.
Because that's a good call. Because the last time the Senate was in Republican hands, they gave rich people billions, added $7 trillion to the debt, voted down health care and the minimum wage, and they voted against infrastructure. Then they screwed up the pandemic so bad 1 million died, store shelves were empty, and we were locked in our houses. Good call, Republicans. Let's put the people that broke it in charge of breaking it again. Do you really think this dude's going to help this? Do you, or are you just doing it to own the libs?
They never really wanted to use me. Rather figured out how to use me. I think the way you use me is just let me play football.
Because if you vote in Herschel, I send lots of people money for abortions, Walker, you're not owning the libs, you're owning yourselves.
He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them.
That's his kid. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. How stupid are we as a country? For God's sakes, if he was a Democrat, I wouldn't vote for him. I would Darth Vader over this guy. Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. How are you doing? Good evening, good afternoon, good evening. Or if you're in your truck, car, or your long haul trucker, just keep the tied up hooker quiet and listen to the what?
Cut.
With me as always, lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people? I do not condone that last message.
And the Highlander.
There could be only one.
He also does not
So
condone.
you do know that I read a thing a long time ago. It actually changed the policy at my kid's school. My kids, they built a big mall there since, but before there was a mall that was dying, a mall of the dam that was dying, and this giant, huge parking lot from like the 80s where people, I guess it used to be packed. It was that dead.
That's the only time parking lots
It was this horrible dead Macy's in North Hollywood, was dying. Well, they rebuilt the whole thing there. But during the time, my kid's school was right there at the parking lot. And all of a sudden, all of these long haul truckers started parking there overnight. And it got weird to the point where, well, it got weird. Yeah, got weird to the point that like it was hard for parents to park. Like it was like at one time 15 long haul trucks. And so I started looking at some FBI reports. FBI actually has estimated that they believe, and I'm not sure anybody listening to this podcast would do this, but that they believe most of the missing persons, a big chunk of the missing people, kids and girls, are from long haul truckers.
Wow.
And so I turned that article.
I have not independently reviewed or confirmed this statement that he just made.
No, the article was so prevalent, I turned it into the principal at the school. 2 weeks later, there was not a truck in that parking lot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So this is one study back in the 80s?
Not even. No, it wasn't in the 80s recently. It was in the 2000s. So there you go. Let's start on a high note because everything after here is fucking downhill. Herschel Walker, what the hell is going on?
Speaking of trucking, downhill.
There are cases that pop up instantly.
Yes, exactly.
Even as recent as March of this year, kidnapping,
sandwich,
bloody
sandwich,
women's underwear.
Sandwich.
Okay, well, there's apparently it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. Wait,
sandwich. Sandwich.
I don't make
sandwich.
Stuff up. What can we not say? Underwear?
YouTube's
sandwich. Go underwear.
Yeah, that's pretty. That could be a bunch of different stuff, though.
Why wouldn't we say that? I mean, it's gross, but
there's an algorithm.
It's like a context. It's,
in context. She's talking about she was just reading a story, an actual news story. Hi, YouTube. So, Herschel Walker, I would like to thank you for letting me do the Armageddon update on him. I am to the point now, and it became really evident this week to anybody who questioned it, that there is absolutely zero principle in the Republican Party.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They don't
fucking zero. And, we've known it for a while, kind of. But to have them come out and say it, Dana Loesch, who got fired from Super Beats and then the NRA, which, by the way, what is that interview like? You're Dana Loesch and you're like, yeah, no, I used to sell Super Beats on TV. And now I'd like to help promote guns.
Well, they know they screwed up with Trump, right? He wasn't dumb enough, right? He didn't get reelected.
They gotta go. We gotta go dumber. We need Wade. That was the meeting. Guys, what if we had some policies, maybe some ideas that would help the country? Maybe that would get us elected. Shut up!
I got an idea.
Hey, shut up, you rhino! We need a much dumber guy.
I read something that he was very specifically handpicked. A, to be dumb enough to control, and B, because he is African American, to put up against Warnock.
Yeah.
Because, two black guys, it's the same thing.
Right.
And
but that's the thinking.
That was me being sarcastic for all of you that are going to write me an email that don't get sarcasm. I very seriously, as I was listening to you pull the clips yesterday, I was in the bathroom getting ready and listening to this. I just want to say this, and I mean this really seriously and not in an unkind way. It's upsetting to me because it just shows that the Republican Party is willing to exploit someone who is mentally disabled because he is legitimately mentally disabled.
Yep.
He has been damaged and he can barely speak English.
He's violent.
There's a lot of signs that he does have that neurological disorder and
CTE.
He would never know that it was called CTE. He'd call it CET. He calls CRT CTR. I mean, and it bothers me a lot that they're willing to do that. It really,
it's in a weird thing. It's the most racist thing possible because they actually they could have got. I mean, there's black.
It's not race. Well,
it's incredibly racist.
Well,
and they're just so overt.
No.
But it's also ableist. I don't.
It's incredibly racist because they didn't just think let's get the best guy to run against Warnock. period. Let's get a Republican with ideas and smart. No. Let's get the dumb football player, black guy, who basically, because he's popular because of football, and they aren't thinking, which means they don't give a shit. They know Herschel Walker brings absolutely zero to the table.
Yeah.
Zero.
No policies, no idea, nothing.
No. No, he did say that we can't keep cleaning our air because when we clean our air, we send our air to China. And then you saw it on the clip.
No,
right?
we
And
have
the
the
bad air.
cleanest air.
And then we get their bad air, and then we got to clean that. So
we got the cleanest air, and then the air goes to China, and China send back their dirty air. And I was like, what?
So that's
we got too many trees. They're trying to give money to trees.
Trees. Don't we have enough trees? And some guy wrote, no, we don't. If we had enough trees, we wouldn't be in the climate change trouble we're in right now. So here's how I write the Armageddon updates. I'm usually sitting in bed writing and pounding away, and I'm finding clips for Ken. I'm doing the map, finding clips and stuff, and then Ken takes them and does amazing things with them. And I'm playing, go, babe, listen to this, and I keep hitting this everything. She's in the bathroom getting ready, and I keep hitting all the stuff he's saying, and it's funny, and then you realize, this is who these guys think should be a senator in Georgia, like a major state with a huge population. Mm-hmm. This is who they think should be senator.
And he has supporters.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is the problem.
It was very close. It's not that they think that he needs to be a senator. It's that they get a puppet.
Yeah.
No puppet.
No puppet.
You're
the puppet. But here's what's even worse to me. Is that they took this guy who was pretty much doing everything they say, because if you watch, something crazy bad happens, then he says something wrong. The next day, his handlers say a bunch of stuff. That was right. My microphone's flaccid. I'm getting older. It's an older microphone. The microphone's in.
No, you're not. No. We talked about that at the party on Saturday.
Yeah, you did. I was like, shut up. What are you doing, you big mouth? Get some alcohol and Ray, and then our sex life is pretty much out there for everybody.
Let me tell y'all something. It was because a friend of mine said her husband no longer desired or wanted or did. And I was like, oh, well, let me tell you about him.
Yeah. And then she was like, yeah. And then there was words that were spoken, and I didn't know at this point. I didn't know what to do.
Blood Georgia.
Yeah, I was like standing there going,
You were
I think
proud.
I'm gonna walk. I was kind of proud and frightened at the same time.
Tony Horton, your friend who's twisted like you, was like, is it weird that I'm picturing this?
Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's weirder that she's saying it, though.
That's what he said.
As Tony's doing no hand push-ups.
Back to Dana Loesch. Yeah, with his toes. Back to Dana Loesch. So Dana Loesch came out and she said,
he was doing a penis joke.
You put the clip in the Armageddon update, right?
I'm about to.
Okay, so Dana Loesch said that I wouldn't care. Because remember, because the whole big thing, one of the giant things the Republicans have sold to their base is we are going to get rid of a
sandwich.
Is bad. It's
sandwich.
Yep.
It's murder.
Mm-hmm.
So Herschel Walker, we now know, is paid for numerous. There's two women now that said it.
Sandwich.
And he said, I don't know that woman who claimed that
sandwich.
That woman is the mother to one of his kids. You don't know her?
Wow.
Well, he didn't think she was going to say who she was. He thought he was safe because he came out and said, look at what cowards they are. They never say who they are.
And she's like, oh, no, I'm
okay. I'm
your baby mama?
One of them.
One of them. So Dana Loesch came out and she said, it's so funny when someone says the quiet part out loud. Dana Loesch came in, and you can see the clip. It's in the Armageddon update, and she just said, "I don't care if Herschel Walker aborted baby eagles. Mm-hmm. We need to win the Senate."
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what's so gross, and that's what makes me so upset about that we have this many people, like the party, that one major other party,
right,
behaves like this.
No,
we're fucked.
But McCarthy too. McCarthy keeps talking about crime and Biden ruined crime. Well, Bakersfield, Kevin McCarthy's district is like one of the highest crime levels. Yeah. I think only Stockton beats it. Stockton, by the way, is also his district.
And nobody is giving a shit about like I've seen some stats about they're claiming like Democrats the murder rates are up. Yeah, in all the Republican states.
Yeah.
Well, Gavin Newsom, we touched on this when he was interviewed by Alex Wagner last week. Gavin Newsom is going across the country, buying billboards in other governors' states, telling people, talking shit, come to California if you need an abortion, if you want clean air, or whatever.
If you want clean air, if you want cool cars.
You don't want Chinese air.
It's kind of, yeah. And I love what he's doing because he's saying he's hoping to inspire other Democratic leaders who are just being nice to get aggressive.
Yeah.
And I don't remember why. What were we just talking about? He just addressed.
It was a bunch of. It was everything. It was everything. Talking about crime, which
crime. That's what he said. He goes, Democrats aren't coming out slinging and saying 9 out of the top 10 most dangerous cities, most crime-ridden, violent cities are Republican run.
Yeah,
but we're not.
And Republican governors
saying that.
And that's what I said yesterday. McCarthy kept saying that, and I just tweeted to McCarthy. I'm like, dude, I have a question for you. If the governors of the top 10. Sorry, it's 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 Republican states are the worst crime states. Why would we elect that guy president of the entire United States when the fuckers can't handle one state? I don't get it. And here's the thing. I voted Republican in my life. There was a point, and we talked about this a lot many years ago, where it seemed like both sides had ideas, and Reagan started the thing. They've proven now, there was a study done, it's like a 50-year study done on trickle-down economics. And it was Oxford or somebody just came out and went, yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah. Actually, all it did was it increased the disparity in wages and wealth. That's all it did. Yeah. And which I remember when Reagan brought this up, all the Democrats said that's going to happen. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't get pissed. And I'm pissed now. After watching what happened this last week, I'm to the point where fuck the Republican Party. The Republican Party is not a party. It is a fascist party that wants one thing. They want power. They don't have any ideas. Kevin McCarthy today he's like, the border, people are crossing the border like crazy. Crime is up. And this is what he said. Put us in charge. We'll fix it. I'm sorry.
You were in charge.
You were. Yeah. It was. Biden's only been there 2 years.
Yeah.
We've got COVID under control. It's not over, but it's under control. We've got debt reduced $1.3 trillion. That's going over the next 10 years. They've revamped the IRS. I can go down the whole list of shit.
But also, when people say that, feel free to remind them that when Trump was in office, they had control of the Senate, the House, and the presidency, and still got nothing done.
Yes, they did. They passed. Yes, they did. They gave rich people billions.
That's right. They did a tax cut for rich people, tricked poor people into thinking it was going to help them, even though it reverts back in 20.
Well, do you know people after the first year were hitting me? Because I was bitching about it when it happened. And then at the end of that year, people were like, Titus, I used to get $4,000 back at the end of the year. This year, I owed them $400 because the grift was that they said, we're going to give you $40 more in your paycheck. But what they didn't change was the total income level. So basically, instead of taking the tax stayed the same. Very, very, very different. Very, very small difference. But what happened was they put another $40 a week in your paycheck. So over the year, that $40 ate up your refund. So at the end of the year, you owed money again.
Yeah.
And they don't say it, but guess what stayed permanently? The corporate tax cut stayed permanently. Biden, on the other hand, made it so every corporation in the country has to pay a minimum of 15%. So all those companies that paid 0 now pay 15%.
Yes.
So, and still, God, if someone said I could pay 15% tax, I'd be so happy. I'd be like, oh, thank you, God. That's all I have to pay.
It's not like immigration has been an issue. I mean, it hasn't been an issue before. It's always been an issue.
Reagan gave 12 million people amnesty,
and the Republican track record is always shit. Yeah. But they don't care.
They voted. George W. Bush, Herschel Walker. It was W who lived in Texas on the border, had an immigration plan to help them. And guess what they said? The Republicans voted it down.
Right.
It wasn't the Democrats. The Democrats were like, fuck yeah, let's do something.
Yeah.
And then Republicans
New bills have come to the Senate now, and Ron DeSantis is one of them who voted it or didn't vote at all, or voted it down. DeSantis also voted down Hurricane Sandy aid. He voted against Hurricane Sandy aid. They like to not do anything about it and then complain that nothing's been done about it.
Well, Florida's going after this hurricane right now. It's pretty amazing that the socialism in Florida is really through the roof right now. Yeah, they need a lot of good money. I guess what happened was the hurricane washed away the bootstraps they're supposed to pull themselves up by.
Boom.
So we are at a place now where if you can't see that we have one party that's busting their ass to fix it, and am I saying the Democrats are perfect? No, but they're fixing shit on a daily basis.
It seems like instead of bitching and complaining like Republicans do, at least they're focused on trying to get shit done.
But here's the problem. Republicans spend all their time bitching and pointing fingers, there's not one policy. Their platform last year was 0. Last election cycle was 0. They don't have one now.
Mm-hmm.
America first. What?
You mean more like you first?
I mean, as opposed to the rest of us who really don't want America first. Then how come you're talking about Russia and that Putin was right in his invasion? So it's all bullshit. The Democrats are busy writing bills and getting stuff passed. Today, Biden just said he's going to pardon all the people with low-level marijuana convictions, about 6,500 people countrywide. He's asking because
we have overcrowding in our prisons. Taxpayer dollars are paying for all those people to be in the prisons. So these are low-level, small amount marijuana offenders. It's why this hasn't been done long before. His approval ratings are on the rise for the third straight month.
Oh, Biden? What's it up to now? 47?
44.
44, yeah.
Started at 36 in July.
Inflation has gone from 9.5%, then it went to 8.7, now it's 8.3. So it's dropping. Another thing, they keep saying, inflation, we're going to bring down inflation, we're going to bring down gas prices. And it's obviously that the fascists and the dictators really want the Republicans to win. Saudi yesterday, in the middle of huge gas prices, in the middle of literally through the roof worldwide. I mean, and I think in England it's equivalent to $12 or something they're paying. Saudi decided, with Russia and China, decided to cut oil production 2 million barrels. Now, I think we should cut their maintenance on all the airplanes we sold them. I think we should cut maybe any weapon system to Saudi. I think maybe we should do that. If you guys are going to fuck with us, okay.
We were talking about this too. How ridiculous is it that our leaders made us dependent on countries like Taiwan
for chips? The whole world is
for chips. We didn't think maybe that would ever become a problem. Yeah. We're dependent on China. We're dependent on Saudi. It's you guys didn't think that maybe that would bite us in the ass.
And that's this is the one both sides thing I agree with you. Everybody, well, Obama cranked up oil production. We are now energy independent. The problem is we're selling it to other people. Because the government doesn't control the oil. There's 9,000 leases. I mean, Obama went crazy with oil production because we needed to get it back.
Well, it's like the baby formula thing.
Well,
right?
I just want to say 90%. This is crazy, people. Because if you're a child, you're going to figure this out. 90% of all the computer chips, the high-tech computer chips in the world come out of Taiwan. China's been threatening Taiwan for how many years? So everything. This cup is literally got Wi-Fi. This cup, this is a paper cup with Bluetooth, and so now we have one country, tiny country, that's constantly being threatened by China, making 90% of the world's computer chips. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. That we are not, but the Republicans bitch about, we need to become energy independent. Then why the fuck do you guys vote against energy independence every time? Why do you vote down? We have solar panels and wind. It works worldwide. We have entire countries. Brazil uses fucking sugarcane for 80% of their energy. How come we're so far behind? Because Texas, Louisiana, and all the oil producing states are no. And one more thing I'm going to say, and then I'll let you guys talk. So we want to know where all this money comes from to support these politicians that vote for this stuff. Well, so the Democrats introduced a bill that said, all right, this bill you have to reveal where all your dark money's coming from. You have to actually tell us who's giving you money. And the Republicans didn't even vote on it. They blocked it. They wouldn't even let a vote happen on it. They're like, yeah. So we have a very, 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 very corrupt.
Yeah.
Half of our government is incredibly corrupt. Marsha Blackburn was literally she's always talking shit, but she's the most corrupt. There's a couple of agencies judged her the most corrupt politician in Washington. And I don't know if she gets a plaque for that. Do you get T-shirts? What do you get? Flag for that?
Behind
Most corrupt motherfucker.
Yeah. A foam finger.
A foam finger. I'm number one. So anyway, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I just think and Biden's doing it. I mean, Biden's doing it. The CHIPS Act just got passed. Intel's already breaking ground on a new factory. He's speaking at IBM today. We're going to be the number one maker of chips, union made. He actually did with the electric cars. He said, all right, we're going to give you guys rebates on electric cars, but only to union factories. union factories are going to get the rebates. So, and Musk lost his shit. Elon Musk lost his shit because he actually broke unions in 2 or 3 of his factories. He went to Texas 100% to get rid of because Fremont, they were going to unionize, and he fired all the guys that were trying to unionize.
Not euthanize, unionize.
Yeah, no, he euthanized the union.
Yes.
There you go.
Exactly. The trials started for the guy that plowed through the Christmas parade. We were there, remember?
We weren't there. Oh, we were in town that way. Yeah, that happened.
And we were 1 or 2 exits up.
Holy shit.
From that because all the ambulances were flying by us and we were held up getting. It was a new improv. It was the new Milwaukee Improv, but it's not in Milwaukee. It's in a little town right outside, very close to where this happened. So
why does it take so long? That was over a year ago. Why?
It was December.
Oh, so almost a year ago. Why?
Still does feel long though.
So his trial began Monday with jury selection. He was brought in. And
I'll bet you they cut all the elves out. They're like, sorry, you're an elf. You can't. You're going to be biased on this one.
Have you ever been an elf?
I'm just saying. You're because it's a Christmas thing. He went through a Christmas parade. We can't. Reindeer are going to get, no, sorry.
We would have driven over the elves.
Removes his shirt, sits with his back to the camera.
In court?
Then took the sign. The judge had given him a sign because the first day of jury selection, before the potential jurors were brought in, he wouldn't stop talking, at one point objecting to the name that he said he didn't recognize his own name, and I guess kept jumping up and yelling out and yelling objections. So she had to put him in a separate room and put him on camera, and she gave him a sign that says objection because he's representing himself. And they did that, brought the potential jurors in. He takes off his shirt, puts his back right in front of the camera, then takes the objection sign and stuffs it down his pants. So it's going well. That's what I'm saying.
Now, I got a question. Do you think because this guy ran over, didn't he kill like 8 people or something?
Killed a lot of people and hurt a lot of people.
And it hurt a lot of people. Is this you think that's overtly crazy? Here's what I know about crazy. Crazy doesn't act out like that. It waits and waits and waits, mumbles a lot, and then all of a sudden attacks. It doesn't do shit like that. He
may have been doing it all along. We just didn't hear about it.
But doesn't this sound like
nutty.
Corporate clinger kind of crazy?
Let me try and get the insanity defense.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like
people. The prosecutor is saying that he's trying to derail the proceedings and delay his sentencing. He's been examined by 4 different psychologists. And I don't know.
What did the psychologist say? Does he give any reports?
He's going to trial. So obviously they thought he was fit to stand trial.
So he's so dumb, he's not even good at acting crazy. You're not even good at acting crazy.
He says he doesn't understand what's going on. It took her an hour to read instructions to the jury because he even objected to his name. Somebody's having fun.
I object to my middle name. Todd.
Same. I like
what's your middle name?
We've already talked about this. Francis.
Look at it. Damn you.
God.
Kenny Frank.
Wow,
why
man.
do that to me?
Wasn't that George John Wayne's name, Francis?
Was it?
I think it was his real
name. Oh, look, he sounds hopeful.
You should look it up. What's
John Wayne was a pretty horrible racist.
He was a terrible guy. Yeah. I don't want to.
He was.
John Wayne.
I don't want to.
But he could hold his alcohol. I will tell you that. He went on the Carson show one time after drinking 2/5
Marion.
of whiskey. Oh, Marion. It was so you got a choice, Marion or Francis.
Yeah, Francis. I'll take Francis. Because
Marion, you can't even get to Frank. There's no short in making it cool. There's no way to make Mary. That's it. Not even Mario.
Ian. You're Kenny Frank. Kenny Frank works in a factory in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Yeah, except when all the guys at the factory knew that his middle name was really Francis, that's what they would yell across the
That's a good Irish name, though.
Francis. Yeah. But Todd.
Isn't
Todd.
Francis? That's a good Irish name.
You can't say Todd without
It's not a good. It's just not a good name.
Was your dad Kenneth Francis?
No. I don't know what he was.
He was just cruel.
I think sometimes parents just want to let's give him a fucked up middle name. I think
they just
or they're trying to honor some guy that came over from Ellis Island from
some
100 years
300-year-old name.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
it's
great
uncle. It's a family name. Yeah, you mean the family that got their ass kicked in high school all
is
the
a
time?
fucking family name. Fuck you.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
That's right.
Evicted. That's not his real name. He picked it.
You're kidding.
Look it up. He picked the name because he wanted a name that would stand out.
Well, he achieved that.
Yeah.
That was quite good.
Elton John's is original Dwight. It's not even his name. Elton John. He picked it.
Elton John, I get though. That's a great name.
Robert Zimmerman.
But Engelbert Humperdinck.
It sounded like a dare. It was like
it was. Someone woke up with a tattoo.
It was
and
like
a
with
driver's
a
license
on his
and
forehead.
a driver's license. What did I do last night? Oh shit! Name legally changed. Fuck! What were we drinking? I cannot have tequila.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
So why are the Republicans putting people up that actually have no business being in government? Herschel Walker, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert was an escort. She was a paid escort who had an abortion. And
family values.
This is reported. This is reported by the Daily Beast or when I look it up. And I just don't understand why they're putting up these. Is it so McConnell can just go? Just do it. Do it. We'll back you up with millions of dollars in the next election, but do what we want.
Has there been a more hypocritical group of people?
No.
Like in fucking human history?
No. Well, yeah, I'm sure in human history. I mean, that's how we got here. We're human beings.
Roman
we
emperors.
We don't learn shit ever.
That's true.
I mean, if you go back through history, we've done this before. This is not new.
Yeah.
And
so what we're saying is the world is falling apart. Elon Musk has now warned of World War III. He says he's proposing a peace plan that would give parts of Ukraine to Russia, which has actually made Lindsey Graham mad and said that's an affront to the bravery of the Ukrainians fighting on the front lines. And so you need to stay in shape for Armageddon and you need Fitbod.
Yes, you do. By the way, start working out. Yeah.
He worked his cheeks out on Fitbod last week.
Oh, man, I did.
And every time he took a step the next couple of days, ow.
I hated
those cheeks.
I hated the stairs. I was like, oh, man, these stairs. I hate these stairs. Fitbod, again, I use it every workout. It makes me, it's given me, I'm picking too many body parts because it's given me so many sets at this point. And because it's in front of me, I have to do it. So I go through every day.
You were in there forever on Sunday.
I did an hour and five, but it was, but it's made a difference. Am I wrong? You see my body.
Yeah, that's right.
Has it made a difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, although I need to change my eating a little bit to kill, because underneath this fat, I'm ripped.
So he doesn't usually do glutes or legs.
Oh, yeah.
He does upper body a lot, and so he
Don't skip leg day.
One.
Well, I ride the bike for legs, but yeah.
But you did one. You did lunges, right? Fitbod told him to do lunges.
I did weighted lunges and something else on the list it gave me, and
just because he doesn't do them a lot,
yeah.
I
was also using 30, so that was 60. What you use it all the time?
I use 30s.
But your legs. But have you seen her legs? Her
but
legs
I do legs. That's my favorite thing to do.
She
legs
doesn't
and
do any upper
glutes.
body.
I do too. Shut
you
up.
Do not at all.
I do. Ken just said yesterday.
You do shoulders.
No. All right. Shoulders are ripped.
Yeah, your shoulders are ripped.
I like shoulders. Shoulders is my second.
Yeah.
I like shoulders. And pickles.
We are slowly getting toward Grandma Jean every day.
I like them. So Fitbod is great for things like that. You try things that you haven't done before. It tracks what you've done. It builds on that the next workout you do.
Sends it to my on my Apple Watch. It sends it to my Apple thing.
Thingy.
Yeah, it links to Apple.
It's great to avoid COVID because you can stay at home. It uses whatever equipment you tell it you have, even if you have none. That's okay too. He uses it in the hotel room.
Body weight with no equipment. It gives me a killer workout.
You can get a whole year for less than what it would cost one time with a personal trainer, and it's like having a personal trainer. And if you don't know how to do this stuff, they have videos that you can watch, which is super cool. You showed me some of those. So keep your workout momentum going. Get personalized workouts from Fitbod that get tougher as you do because it grows with you. So get 25% off your subscription, or you can try out the app for free if you sign up now at fitbod.me/Titus. That's 25% off your subscription, or try it for free at fitbod.me/Titus.
The cool thing about signing up for it, because I used it for free for a little while. I used the free, and it doesn't give you all the access stuff. The cool thing about it was whatever it was, $69, whatever it was at the time, and I used our code. All of a sudden I have a list of everything I want to do. I get to track the sets. I get to actually, when you flip it up, you can actually, it'll give you, you say which body parts you want, then it gives you a list of the exercise you do. And let's say there's an exercise that you're like, man, those, A, that's not hard enough, or B, that's too hard. You flip it up, you go down to exercise, and it gives you a menu of other stuff that does the same body part, but it may be an exercise you like more.
Like an alternate.
Yeah, an alternate, and you switch it. Or if there's one exercise that they gave me something stupid, and I said, I never want to see this on my thing again. And I flipped it up, and it said, get rid of it. Yeah, I was eyeballs. I was doing eyeballs. I'm like, I don't do eyeballs. I don't do eyeballs.
Nostrils.
So I said, don't ever show this one again. And so now my eyeballs
That's
are weak.
really cool.
This one I got a lazy eye now because of it. Because I'm not working out my eyeballs. Fitbot guys, use it. I'm not kidding.
Oh God. If you just look at top news, it's really depressing. There's 2 stories about newborns being
sandwiched.
One of them, a guy went in and strangled them.
Did you see what happened in Taiwan today?
That's the other one. Akon has now said he loves Africa. I used to like Akon. He loves African women because they're more submissive than American women, and they understand that women can never be equal to men. And there's a video.
Oh my God. Wow.
He owns a lot of nightclubs in the Atlanta area, and he produces a lot of music now.
Did he say that?
Yes, he did on video.
Wow. I thought
we are in reverse, man.
Yes.
We are in reverse, except for Iran. Weirdly enough, Iran's blowing up because women don't want to cover their hairs anymore. So the one place that we've been saying was backwards, we're all fucking going. And Iran's like, fuck that, we're going forward. What's happening to the world right now? It's crazy.
I don't know. And meanwhile, Republicans voted down any mental health bill. So you go and look. Even that family that was kidnapped in California. Guy kidnapped family with a newborn, and they found them all in a field
dead.
There's video of him removing them from their home, husband, wife, baby, and they're all dead in a field.
Holy shit.
It's
And
like
then today, this morning, happened. Is it what country was
tied
it that
up.
happened?
The baby was tied up.
What was
too.
it?
Why would you have to tie
when
up
they
a
found
baby?
them?
Yeah, it's extra, right?
Like
Well,
it's extra.
to obviously not kill them right away, to keep them in front of them, not moving.
It's a baby, though.
Baby could crawl
Just
away.
take the baby's phone.
Yeah, in like 4 hours, the baby will be 2 feet away. Like,
You didn't want to deal with it.
What happened to what
got a
What
word
country was that
fetish.
thing happened today? Where that school got attacked?
Which school?
There was a
In
school.
Taiwan?
24. Is that Taiwan?
The nursery school?
People, I mean, I'm telling Ray, I turn the news on all of it because we have the podcast, and I don't like to keep you guys informed of bad stuff.
Thailand.
do we have any good news? Is there anything-
24 kids in a preschool got killed. This guy walked in, stabbed a bunch of them, and shot some.
37 people.
And all I-
Ex-police officer fired for drugs.
They're going to affect
Killed
the
at
chip
least 37 people at a child care center before killing himself and his own family.
What it feels like, and then we've got North Korea shooting missiles over Japan. They sent off 2 more. By the way, to the point where Japan warned people in prefectures, "Hey, get in the house and get in the basement." They sent cruise missiles over Japan. They're testing them. We gotta test it over Japan. We can't just shoot it the other way. We gotta test it over Japan.
Give them a little reminder. These fucks over here.
Yeah.
The Putin's guys are talking about using tactical nukes.
Yeah.
As their next move.
The positive news is
Please.
Giselle is probably going to get about $200 million because she's divorcing Tom Brady, and he didn't do a prenup, and she's hired an attorney.
That's the good news we have.
That's why he came out. Isn't he the one that retired?
Thank
and
God
then
that
came
rich
out of
woman's going to
retirement
stay rich.
instantly? Yeah,
That rich,
exactly.
beautiful woman with everything is going to stay rich. That's good news.
And take it
Do
from
you see
that
how
guy
low our
that
fucking
worked
bar
so
is
hard.
on good news right now? Our bar on
Yes.
good news is so, oh my God. I'm concerned about so they're sending Russian soldiers in right now to Russian soldiers. They basically went to the local Russian TJ Maxx and just started grabbing dudes, and then went to the local tire place and go, you're a soldier now. And they're like, what are we doing? I folded shirts yesterday. And they just handed them a gun and a uniform. Russian soldiers are complaining about no food. They're complaining about there's no shelter. It's raining there. And they're
getting paid in fish, right?
They're
I
getting
saw
paid
that.
in fish. Did you see that?
I saw that
There's an
article.
article. They're paying the guys in fish, which I said that's my favorite Dr.
2 fish.
Seuss book.
1 fish, 2 fish.
1 fish, 2 fish, blue fish, yellow fish. Is Ukrainian flag fish. And we've got war going on. Putin's not backing down, but he's getting his ass handed to them.
Massive weather events.
And massive weather events. They said that
Drought.
wow, you just got to keep going. I want to talk about Elon Musk for a second.
Okay.
There's a point. Look, I know the richest man in the world, and electric cars, we've had those since 1900. So and by the way, he took that idea. A guy brought him what Tesla is, and he invested in it. So
he also took the fucking name.
Yeah, and someone else owned it. He had to pay the guy who owned the right there.
So the name Tesla?
Someone had owned it, and he had to buy it.
Was his name Nick?
No, and so now Elon Musk is getting involved in world events, and dude, shut the fuck up. You build rockets and cars. That's what you do. And my problem with the guy is he came out today and he was like, and here's why he said it. It's such a bad reason. He was like, we don't want to have World War III. Yeah, you know why? Because then your factory can't produce cars. You're not going to be making money anymore, dude. Like, so at what? And I tweeted him back. I said, at what point? How much oppression? How much torture? And how much murder do the Ukrainians have to go through before it's okay to fight back?
The most clarity, somebody said it, if Ukraine stops fighting, Ukraine is over.
Yes.
If Russia stops fighting, the war is over.
Right.
And so it's really weird how these right-wing people, including my family, writing op-eds and stuff, are pushing for the surrender.
Guys like Musk are the reason 6 million Jews died, and it took us so long to get involved in World War II.
Yeah,
like because we had that problem in America too. No, we're not getting. We were just watching the thing. Someone told me to watch Ken Burns' documentary on it, because we had really famous Americans backing the Nazi Party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of corporations
like World War II,
supplying the Nazis too.
Yeah, corporation were sending the Nazis, and so now we got Musk saying that, oh man, Ukrainians need to just give up. Fuck, what the fuck? Would you say that if someone came to our country or like someone started inventing, hey, Americans need to just give up?
He said just give up some of the territory. That is like someone just showing up here and him saying, just, give them California, Oregon,
what if we
and
just
Washington.
show up at his factory? What if we just show up at Musk's factory with a bunch of people? Now we're taking this part of the factory. No. We don't want to fucking cause you in trouble. Just give us this fucking part of the factory. No, fuck it, we're taking it.
What happened to the union guys?
I just don't get it, man. It's like, at what point, how do you wrap your mind around watching? I mean, they're showing right now. There was a bucket of gold teeth that they found when they were going through where the Russians were. There was bodies. There was obviously signs of torture. And for Elon Musk to go,
rape of children,
rape of kids. It's like, I don't. Who are we now? Like Herschel Walker, Musk is saying we shouldn't go in. We've got Republicans saying that Russia's, they're going to Russia on 4th of July. Like, who are we now?
Ultimately, it's up to, Biden and NATO, right? So who gives a shit what they're saying?
This episode brought to you by Feals CBD oil.
By the way, you need this
to be brought to you by Feals right now.
I've never tried it. I think I need it now.
When the tactical Nick's jock, you're going to go, oh, did you guys hear that?
If you're having anxiety or stress, sleepless nights,
we're going to sell out. We're going to sell out on this podcast.
You need a good night's sleep because you're going to need to be able to run long and fast.
The best Armageddon remedy is Feals.
It helps with aches and pains. It helps with mental clarity and focus. You're going to need all of that to stay alive. It's a premium CBD. If you guys haven't tried it before, it's just a better way to feel better.
It just mellows you out.
Yeah, you check in 10 minutes later and you're like, oh, okay.
So I take it to go to sleep, and I notice we're watching TV. I'll take it because I know it's going to take 30 minutes, whatever. And I just notice my anxiety goes away. That's all I know.
There's no hangover or addiction.
No.
It's amazing for sleep. I use it every night. And I love the mints. If you've never tried it before and you have questions, you can call their CBD hotline. They have dosage experts that will help you and talk to you about whatever your questions are, whatever you're experiencing and how it can help you. You can start feeling better now with Feals and preparing for Armageddon. Become a member today by going to feals.com/Titus and you get 50% off your first order and free shipping. That's FEALS.com/Titus to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feals.com/Titus. When I just said free shipping, it made me think of Ryan because free shipping was always...
He was a big deal to him.
Millennial young man wanted free shipping on everything. And so he loved any of these products that were... And we just got his wedding announcement yesterday.
Guy's fetus is getting married.
The baby. The
Yeah,
baby's
he's all grown
getting
up.
married in Palm Springs.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're going to go to that.
Yep.
I don't understand. I'm going to appeal to Florida right now. Florida, you got election coming up. It's going to be Val Demings. Charlie Crist is running for governor. And I want to ask you something. You got a governor that went after Disney.
Yeah, that was dumb.
I just want to say, like, one of the big issues was Disney. That Disney, and all Disney wanted to do was make sure that their gay employees and that they had the same rights. That's it. So I want to point out, and I've been studying this for a while now. We started doing the podcast during Obama, and the further I got into it, because I always believe it was to you guys, it was to make sure that you guys could get honesty. Because I mean, the news got weirder, and Fox got weirder, and even CNN and NBC, everything spins it. I always try to give you the truth. So I look up a lot of sources. It seems to me, and this has been 12 years of research now, that the Republicans are up for one thing: nothing. They just want to win. They don't do anything. Every policy they have actually promotes Exxon corporations against Americans. They kill unions. They kill healthcare. They stopped your minimum wage. And in Florida right now, you've got two people, Charlie Crist, who did a good job as governor, and you got Val Demings, whose husband is, I think, mayor of Orlando right now or something like that. He's one of the mayors, and she is really competent. Loves law enforcement. She was law enforcement. So you have a literal stand-up human being. Let's take Democrat out of it. Let's take Republican out of it. Who do we want? If you didn't know, if you knew Ron DeSantis and you just talked to him, right? And you just talked to him and you heard what the shit he said and didn't know he was a Republican or Democrat, you'd be like, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
Talk to Val Demings, you'd be like, wow, she seems like she's up for doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about Democrat or Republican. And I'll be honest with you. If Herschel Walker was a Democrat, I would vote for a potato against him. If the potato was running against him, I'd be like, this potato is at least not going to fuck things up.
And at least has potential, because a potato can become French fries.
Exactly. Herschel Walker is a French fry. Old, moldy. So I want you guys to know, I'm not asking you to pick, because I think so many Republicans now, they're going to take my guns. They're not going to take your guns. It's not happening. It hasn't happened ever. Even Reagan said he didn't think anybody should be owning an AK-47 or an AR-15. Reagan said that. I'm asking you to not look to vote against somebody. I'm asking you to vote for yourselves. In Florida right now, by voting for DeSantis, you're actually voting against yourself. DeSantis has talked so much shit. He voted against saving New York when he was in the Senate. Was in the House, right? Voted against hurricane relief, but the second he needed it. These people are bald-faced. They are corrupt as fuck. And they voted against letting us know who's paying them. Do you understand that? They actually stopped the vote. And so I'm asking you, take a minute, take Democrat and Republic out of it. Because I do. Honestly, I do. Mm-hmm. If we had some crazy ass Democrat that was out of their fucking minds, I'd be like, nah, I got to vote for this guy. Right. Why? I have to, because I can't vote for that guy. Mm-hmm. If you can't vote for somebody based on party or what, or R or a D next to their name, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. So I look at people's policies and I'm asking you, Florida, do me a favor. Vote for you. Don't vote against somebody. Vote for yourselves. That's all I'm saying.
I think the part of the problem is, this is how we got a Trump, is that people were just voting party and they were just listening to their bubble of information. Mm-hmm. So they were getting fed kind of bullshit.
Kind of bullshit.
Right. And I've heard people say, well, you know, why why complain about politics or complain about these people? Just vote. You can't do that. You have to know, think about who the people, look at their track record, see what they're probably going to end up, doing as a leader, and vote for those people instead of just voting for whoever's.
I'm voting against. I'm voting against Biden. Why Biden in less than 2 years he's turned shit around. COVID's getting cured. 1.3 deficit reduction. 5.7% growth. 3.5% unemployment. 3.5% unemployment. Healthcare got expanded. We've got infrastructure passed. Like what? Like I don't understand. And if gas prices are Biden's fault, then they're Biden's fault worldwide.
Yeah. And inflation.
And inflation is worldwide. Turkey's got like 69% inflation right now.
And if it's Democrats' fault, Republicans are so upset about gender issues and stuff, then Democrats caused it all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Democrats caused gay people all over the world.
Yep.
By the way, you know what made me a Democrat? Republicans. It wasn't that the Democrats were they were at least trying to do their fucking job, and Republicans are just, it was all for them. It still is.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you guys, just vote. If you just look at what's happened since Biden took over, just look at what happened to take over. Gas price went through the roof. Do you know why? Part of the reason is this is the big deal is Trump actually made a deal with Saudi in the middle of the pandemic to cut oil production by 10 million barrels. Did you know that? Trump passed that deal. Not only did he pass it, he threatened Saudi that he was going to cut off their weapon supply if they didn't. So Saudi dropped production 10 million barrels. Then when the pandemic was over, Biden got everybody vaccinated, 220 million, by the way. What ended up happening was we all went back to work. Freeways that were empty, going to LA, were all of a sudden packed again. So now we went from 10 million barrels less than we had, and all of a sudden everybody's driving again. So there wasn't enough gas in the supply line. So it went through the roof. It's 100%. And by the way, that deal that Trump made went through last April. So we've just barely got production back. Now that production's rolling again, China and Russia and Saudi are buddies. They've decided to cut oil 2 million barrels. Do you know why? Because they don't want a Democrat that does the right thing in charge. They want some asshole dictator like Trump or some fascist that is basically going to do what they want to do.
Tell a joke. Tell a joke.
I'm mad. Yeah, here's the time. Here, I agree with you. I agree with you.
How do you do an alarm?
I agree with you. Wait, I agree with you. I agree with you. There's a point, and I've noticed. I look at my tweets, and I'm getting strident. But we are coming up on a midterm election right now. We have almost a world war starting. It's time to stop fucking around. It really is time to stop fucking around. I'm dead serious. I'm scared. For the first time in my life, I'm afraid that this country is not going to be here.
We have a podcast.
We have a podcast. You know what's really funny is that so we have a podcast and we make fun of it. Do you know everybody has a podcast now? There's like newscasters that are on national television. Hey, if you tune into my podcast, I'm like, wow, why do you have a podcast? You're on TV.
The Oath Keepers sedition trial is going on right now, and one of the members of the Oath Keepers has now testified under oath that Stuart Rhodes, the one-eyed bandit, was in contact with
shot his own eye out, by the way.
Secret Service agent.
Do you guys hear this guy? I heard this morning. So Stuart Rhodes, not during the January 6th, but during another incident, was literally on the phone with the Secret Service. Was on the phone. The Oath Keepers. They're not part of the government. You're not
for real?
Yep. What? So another guy that gets flipped on him.
Oddly coincidental that the Secret Service texts all disappeared from January 6th.
The day after
they were data migration.
Well, data migration, except the data migration seemed to be timed exactly to when the DOJ asked for the motherfucking texts.
And warned them twice to preserve them.
Preserve them. Oh, sorry.
Donald Trump is back on Truth Social today saying that the FBI planted evidence, saying that there's criminal activity going on in the once great FBI, including covering for crooks and scoundrels. The public is angry, he's saying. So he's back because his judge that he handpicked, Eileen Cannon, said that he didn't have to give supporting evidence to whether or not the FBI planted evidence. So now he's back to running.
So now that he doesn't have to prove, because what happened is Deering, the other judge, said, hey, all right, if you think the FBI planted evidence, do me a favor, give me a list of what they planted and tell us how they planted it and show us evidence that they planted it. And then she said, and then he went back to Cannon, and Cannon said, no, you don't have to show that. So now he's talking shit again because he doesn't have to prove it. The problem is that the DOJ filed an appeal that had already gone through that basically said they're trying to get Cannon out of the entire thing. Did you see it yesterday?
What?
The DOJ, is it DOJ?
Yeah, they went back to the Circuit.
To the 11th
Yeah.
Circuit. They went to the 11th Circuit. The problem is that Clarence Thomas is in charge of the 11th Circuit, and Clarence Thomas is the husband of Ginny Thomas, who helped plan the insurrection.
It's a mess.
We're fucked. And that's why when you say, "Can you tell a joke?" I don't feel funny right now. I feel like we're losing the country left and right.
You just gotta throw a joke in from time to time just to keep me awake. That's all. It's not for them. It's for me.
I'm pretty good.
There is a tropical disturbance in southern Caribbean Sea near the coast of South America. It has received
a ship full of tequila has
the
capsized.
designation of
and
potential tropical cyclone 13. Have you heard of those?
that sounds like a horrible B movie. Cyclone 13. It's coming. The winds are blowing and you're about to lose it.
Starring Steven Seagal
and Billy Baldwin as the lovable sidekick.
as Jason Cyclone.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of that?
Cyclone
like every
13.
time you open the news, there's a new weather term that we've never heard that sounds like they made it up to just say holy shit.
Mega hurricane.
But they can't say
it's
what
an ultra.
was
There's
the
something.
heat dome.
The heat dome's a new one. There was an ultra.
What?
There was some ultra. They added ultra to
What
some.
was there was
some
a,
shit. Ultra tornado. There's some shit that's happening.
a water wall or
Yeah,
what? There was something that you were like, that's not a thing.
I with what's going, if it was one region, if I would say this, if it was one thing, it was like, okay, the Russians and Ukraine are fighting. We've got NATO kind of surrounding them. I get it.
We can focus on that.
Right.
Okay,
but
we can fix it. Yeah.
North Korea launching missiles and shit, threatening South Korea. We've got China going after Taiwan. We've got Iran blowing up.
We got Herschel Walker.
And then you got Herschel Walker and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And then you've got yesterday
Lady Mussolini.
Yeah, Lady Mussolini, that's new. And then you got the Tories still in charge in England. It's like all these world wars don't start because of one thing. World wars start because of many things all of a sudden
Converging
this
into
evil goulash, and then it lights up. What was I going to say? There's something yesterday in our own country, they interviewed he's a cyber expert. He basically monitors for the government. He's a security expert. He monitors what's going on in social media. And he was saying that the talk of civil war right now in the last 2 weeks has got skyrocketed. Ever since Trump got invaded at Mar-a-Lago ever since the criminal basically got caught for his crimes and they took the papers that don't belong to him back, including nuclear secrets, they said the talk of civil war has gone through the roof. The funny thing to me is, again, I'll say it again. This is not like this first Civil War. We have a military. We have Predator drones.
Mm-hmm.
We have shit that will vaporize you. We have stuff, as I said in one of my shows, that will give you an anal rectal polyp examination with a laser from space.
We have tanks. We have cars. We have trucks that work.
Yeah, exactly.
Paved roads.
I get it, babe. I get it. I get what you're saying. I feel a little bit lost. I watch the news every day and I feel like I don't know how to fix it. I don't want to make it better.
It's too much to kind of focus on.
But if you know anything about history, that's what cracks me up about these people. If you know anything, okay, I always ask, what has any fascist regime done well? Let's go to Cuba. Cuba's just one of the world leaders in production. They're still driving 54 Chevys. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? What has fascism done ever? Give me one thing it solved. They were saying they were saying the trains in Italy ran on time. Well, I looked it up. No, they didn't. Mussolini fucked that up too. Fascism has never worked. The democratic system is a very fragile. We all have to work together to make it work. But when it works, it's amazing. Let's go back to the 50s and 60s. Let's go back to Eisenhower. After we stopped all the fascism after World War II, we had the biggest boom we ever had. We built the interstate highway systems. If you look at the 80s when Clinton around, we fucking built the internet. We run the fucking world, and we didn't do it with fascism. We did it with democracy. And now insert joke here. Sorry.
They think that what they're doing is democracy. That's the problem. They don't see themselves.
But how is taking women's rights
They think
away?
we're the fascists.
They keep saying that, but I think, isn't that projection? I mean, how do you say that? All right, women can now be sued.
And they ban books.
They ban books, ban history.
They take
women's rights.
You said that. They take
voting
things
rights
away.
Yeah, that's what they do. Democrats want to give you shit. The Republicans want to take it away. The Republicans won't even vote. Again, I'll say it again, won't even let us know who's paying them. We can't know who's gave you $13 million. There was some billionaire that gave $1.3 billion to the Republican Party. Who is that? Why is it? What's his business?
Yeah, that doesn't bother you?
Shouldn't we know that? Shouldn't we know that? You know, and if Citizens United, that you know, and I said it when it happened. When we can go back to that podcast. When Citizens United happened, and they said Exxon is a person, and Exxon can give as much money as they want.
Yeah, that was.
Well, do you think that maybe Exxon's going to get some preferential treatment if me and him can give $20 to a political candidate, and Exxon can give $20 million? Do you think that Exxon maybe get pushed to the front of the line a little bit? Maybe they get to the velvet
Federal
ropes.
prosecutors believe they have enough evidence to charge Hunter Biden with tax crimes.
Good. Who cares?
Good. Take him down. Good.
Who gives
Thank
a shit?
God. So he's not going to be in government anymore? Oh, wait, he never was.
Yeah, exactly. And, okay, so we're going to go after criminals. Great. Let's start with fucking Trump.
Even
How many
if
things
they're
do we
the
have?
children of presidents.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
By the way, it's in a weird way, and Biden should let it go through because that's a great precedent. No. I didn't stop Hunter getting in trouble for tax shit. Why would I stop Jared, who took $2 billion from the Saudis?
Yeah. Here's his address. Here's his phone number. Go ahead.
Yeah. But tell you what, I'll bring him here. I got to see him for Thanksgiving anyway. So can we have Thanksgiving?
Here's all the documents he stole. Here's everything.
Yeah, good point.
You know, Biden should let it go. Yeah, Hunter should pay his back taxes, and if he, you know,
and his crimes are like taxes and what? He bought a gun.
And then Sean Hannity put on TV that he was. They had video of him frolicking on a water slide with paid escorts, and someone pointed out. So you mean he was naked with hookers?
This isn't the own you thought it was.
Sounds like he was having a blast, is what it sounds like.
So if you want to see Titus tell jokes, because he does do that for a living, October 8th, Hawaii Theater in Honolulu. Then the 14th and 15th, the Blue Room Comedy Club in Springfield. 20 through 22, Helium, Portland, Oregon. Also,
and this show has no politics in it.
It just went on sale. So November 17th is the Orlando Improv. West Palm Beach just went on sale November 18th. So go to ChristopherTitus.com and click through that link. Did you put that link up? It will. It'll be up.
Yeah, it'll be up.
And then November 19th is the Strauss Center in Tampa, Florida. So we're going to do 3 Florida shows in November, hopefully.
Can I say something in earnest?
We'll be safe.
Can I say something in earnest?
Yes.
I know that this is supposed to be a comedy podcast, and it always has been. We are at a fairly unprecedented point in our history right now. We have actually had our capital attacked. We've had Americans try to take over the government. We've had our people that are currently in power try to stop a free and fair election. We currently have a guy who has stolen nuclear secrets. He stole top secret documents. And then he had the Saudis over for a golf tournament. We have some of the most criminal shit that we've ever had happen in this country happening currently right now. There's currently a world war possibly starting with a major superpower, 2 major superpowers, because China's talking shit about Taiwan. And then we got a crazy fucker in North Korea launching missiles over Japan. I want you to know this show that I'm doing now, Carrying Monsters, has absolutely no politics in it. But when it comes to this podcast, the reason we started to talk about the world, I'm sorry the world is not funny right now. We will do our best. You're welcome for the Armageddon update. At least that's funny. Thank you, by the way, for making that funny. I just want you to know I am funny. I'm scared.
I am funny.
For the first time.
I'm funny.
I'm funny. Stop it. Just not right now.
I have a podcast.
I'm scared. Are you a little bit freaked out?
November 3rd, you can come and see my full show at the Mic Drop Comedy Club in San Diego, California, owned by people that we love very much. November 4th and 5th, this guy will be there telling jokes.
No politics.
No politics.
But aren't you both a little bit freaked
We're going to
out?
close out the year with some shows that are on sale now. Boise Knitting Factory, Twin Falls, Orpheum, and the Neptune in Seattle.
Aren't you freaked out? You answer my question. Aren't you a little freaked out by the world?
I am, but I don't dwell inside of the mania like you do. You sit on Twitter all day, and if I did that, it would make me crazy. I go and catch up like every few days, and I'm like, oh my God, did you hear? And then I put it down, and I'm totally freaked out, and then I take a break for a couple of days. It's you're in the algorithm. But yes, there are bad things happening, but they report on that and people tweet about that because that's what sells and what's more interesting.
What's the good things happening?
every hour you watch on CNN or MSNBC, because you'll sit on Twitter playing that in the background. And
I'm also writing a new movie script.
For a whole hour of listening to that, or more throughout your day, but they're not reporting on positive things happening in the world. It's very rare. CNN does their special heroes coverage, but that's very rare because that's not what makes people go watch them. Are you going to go watch a channel that just reports the positive things?
We had dog TV for a while, and honest to God, there was a couple nights I sat there and with the pup and watched dog TV. Dog TV was the weirdest, calmingest, most amazing
Groucho
thing.
will watch it for hours.
I think we don't need escapism stuff. We need like positive, proactive news.
What good happened today?
Balancing against
But that's
the
what
negative.
I try to do on Twitter. You say that. There's 194,000 people that follow me. Okay? John Cena
Like
started.
Jesus?
John Cena. Yes, I have followers like John Cena's followed me today. Is that weird? And by the way, you want positivity? Go to John Cena on Twitter. I went and read about John Cena is laying down positivity.
John
Holy
Cena is
shit. It's great.
But that's a great example.
But
The
it's
things
great.
that he's doing. John Cena has made more Make-A-Wish wishes come true than any other celebrity in history.
Yes.
The dude just randomly shows up and helps people.
Right.
It's insane. John Cena, but that's what I'm saying. You're not seeing that on the news.
But John Cena also isn't going like when Kevin McCarthy tweets something that basically says Biden fucked the entire country up. Everything's wrong. This, and this. We're going to fix it. And I go, you're lying. You just were in charge. You just had shit.
But see how defensive you're getting?
No, but I know what I do. I don't get defensive.
I'm saying it's negative.
I make fun of it, and then I give the facts, and then I make fun of him.
But Twitter, what you read is largely negative. That's what I'm saying.
I tell you what, every third tweet from now on will be a positive tweet. That's what from now on, every third tweet.
One time responded to someone with cancer because obviously I have a soft spot for that, and my whole Twitter feed now is people dying of cancer. That's it. That's what I see. So you get that algorithm tracks you and then feeds you.
Yeah. And it doesn't take much. It's one or
one
two.
One time. And it's all I get. ALS too. I get constant ALS people. Like a lot of people are dying on my Twitter feed.
My Instagram freaked me out. I like people falling and stuff. It's funny to me. Some guy's doing like X Game stuff and it does a crazy flip and ends up on a fence. It makes me laugh. So I started clicking that. Well, all of a sudden that's all my thing was. Then I started going to drag boats and always drag boats. And it's
simple and dumb.
So then when I started to do though, is I started to see, I'm going to pick something crazy. Puppies. Like, because you have so many puppies on yours.
That's all I get on Instagram.
So I said puppies. Boom. Puppies, drag boat racing. What? And then I switched to something. And I just did that for about 2 weeks. And I realized we are locked in an algorithm right now. But the reality is Ukraine got invaded. It feels like evil is winning. And I'm not okay with that. So I'm going to sometimes not be funny. Sorry.
If Putin escalates this, then NATO's we're going after him. That's it. Then we're at war.
And let's be honest. If he can't fix his fucking trucks, how good do you think his nukes are?
Yeah.
They had this happen recently. There was a video of one of the Ukrainians. They tried to launch off a nuke.
Yeah.
Not a nuke. They shot it was a big missile.
Yeah.
And it went up about 400, 500 feet, and it exploded and turned and crashed. And it was a Russian missile.
If the Ukraine has been beating back Russia, just little Ukraine. Yeah. That had nothing. That would have,
and we maintain our
that we've been helping them.
Yeah,
we sent them our stuff. Our stuff works. Russia's stuff. They put all that maintenance money into yachts for the oligarchs. Mm-hmm. So
a lot of those oligarchs have mysteriously fallen out of 25.
And did you see that? Yeah, we put that on last week. And we on the Armageddon update. One guy, so and so who owns this just fell out a window, 6-story window today.
A lot of new yachts for sale.
You can get a yacht cheap now.
Craigslist, Russian Craigslist is a lot of yachts.
Please come buy my yacht.
All the windows are boarded up on all the.
Here's how you know Russia's in trouble. When they say they're going to bring a bunch of guys in, and we need new recruits, and all of a sudden the freeways out of Russia are solidly packed with people getting the fuck out. That's how you know Russia's on the ragged edge of losing. Putin, what you guys bet on Putin falling out a window in the next 2 months?
There's talk of military coup, especially since he made that announcement about nukes.
The saddest thing about Russia is that Russia has enough natural resources that if they just stopped being assholes, they could be part of the world in a way,
yes,
where they would be a major
Totally.
major benefit to the world. And I don't understand this weird 1920s 1800s thinking that we're gonna take all our land back. Motherfucker, we're all connected by phones and satellites. What are you talking? You're not. What do you
Land is an idea now. You can fly anywhere.
Those lines are imaginary, fucker. They're imaginary.
Yeah.
We made them up.
Yeah. He's got to wake up with just like a million red dots on him.
Here's
right at this point.
I'm going to leave on a high note, and then we're going to wrap this up. I want you guys to know that if you look at history, this happens over and over. Shit goes wrong all the time. Always some asshole tries to invade another country, and it basically goes bad for a minute. What always happens is it always comes back to good people standing up to that bullshit, and it's what's happening in Iran right now, and eventually it goes back to normal. We go through chapters of this. We're just in another chapter. It's going to get better. A lot of us are going to die on the way. Damn it. But it'll get better. Sorry, I tried.
Titus.
I tried. It's going to get better. That's all I'm saying. It's going to get better. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe on the YouTube channel. Go to Christopher Titus TV. If you want anything, go to ChristopherTitus.com. Get our Scream Sanity shirts, because you got to scream sanity. But before we go, though, it's now time for fun facts with the Highlander.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that was rough. We try that again. I'll put it out.
No, he's going to auto-tune.
Yeah, I'm going to put an auto-tune on it. Slugs have not one, not two, not three, but 4 noses.
What?
Why?
Well, I don't like
They don't work
slugs.
like human noses do exactly. Instead, they
2 of
sense
them are
chemicals,
penises. What?
sounds, lights, and more. Their noses are like their eyes
ears.
and their ears.
I'm sorry. Just
So
because,
that's not their nose.
Yeah, let's just be clear. Slugs have eyes and ears, and then an extra thing. They have eyes, ears, mouth, and an extra.
But they're
thing.
all orifices, I guess. They're not like
so one's a nose.
objects.
But they're noses, but they also hear. No, that's an ear. It's not hey, asshole. Scientist. Who's the drunk scientist?
Science doesn't know.
Who gave
noses.
Bill Nye tequila? What is going on? Guys, thanks for listening. Go to ChristopherTitus.com. Please go to the website, order the Scream Sanity shirts. And people ask what the hell that is. Tell them what it means. Scream sanity louder than they scream insanity. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There could be only one.